You didn't imagine it. That feeling in your chest, the quiet frustration you never say out loud that's real. You did what you were told would work. You listened instead of pushing. You stayed calm instead of reactive. You adjusted instead of walking away. And somehow, the more effort you put in, the more invisible you became. Not rejected, not chosen, just suspended. Stuck in a space where nothing moves forward and nothing makes sense. That's the part that breaks men. Not failure, but contradiction. You've seen it happen again and again. She says she wants honesty, consistency, emotional presence. You give it, and then she drifts. She says one thing and responds to another. You feel the connection one moment, then watch it cool without warning. You replay conversations like evidence, searching for the moment you must have messed up. But the truth is harder to accept. The rules you're using aren't wrong. They just don't apply to the system you're in. What women say they want, and what they actually respond to, don't line up. Not sometimes. Repeatedly. And the longer you try to reconcile that gap, the more it eats at you. Because if logic doesn't work, what does? If doing the right thing leads to the wrong outcome, what are you supposed to trust? That's the moment something shifts. Not anger, not bitterness, awareness. The realization that you've been reading words while something else has been making the decisions all along. That there's a deeper mechanism moving beneath the surface, one no one ever explained. But your body has been reacting to the entire time. This video isn't here to turn you against women. It doesn't need to. It's here to give language to the pain you've felt, but couldn't name, so you can finally see what's actually happening. And stop blaming yourself for playing by rules that were never real in the first place. The first hidden truth most men never see is this: women don't experience reality as a sequence of facts. They experience it as a flow of internal states. Men track events. What was said, what was done, what changed. You assume consistency should produce consistency. Same behavior, same outcome. That logic makes sense until it doesn't. Because while you're tracking actions, she's tracking sensation. How she feels in her body, how her emotional balance shifts when you're near, whether the interaction creates tension, relief, excitement, or pressure. And those internal movements matter more to her than the facts you're standing on. This is where the disconnect begins. You remember the effort you made, the patience you showed, the way you stayed steady. She remembers the feeling she had in that moment, and feelings don't stay still. They rise, fall, collide with stress, collide with memory, collide with her own self-image. When her internal state shifts, her perception shifts with it. And when perception shifts, what feels true shifts as well. Not because she's lying, not because she's inconsistent, but because truth, to her nervous system, is emotional before it's logical. You've seen this play out in real life. 1 week, the same words you've always used land perfectly. She's warm, engaged, open. The next week, those same words feel flat. The same presence feels heavy. You didn't change your behavior, but the response changed anyway. And that's where men start doubting themselves. They assume something must have gone wrong, that they missed a step, that they failed to maintain attraction. But nothing went wrong in the way you think. Her internal state changed, and reality reshaped itself around that shift. This is why trying to win arguments with facts never works. This is why reminding her of what you've done rarely brings clarity. You're appealing to a record of events, while she's responding to how those events felt in her body at a specific moment in time. When the feeling changes, the meaning changes. And once meaning changes, behavior follows. To a woman, reality isn't fixed. It reshapes itself around how she feels in the moment. When you understand this, you stop chasing consistency where none exists. You stop personalizing shifts that were never about logic to begin with. And that's the moment you stop feeling lost, because you're finally reading the right layer of the system you're in. The second hidden truth is the one most men resist the longest, because it shatters the idea of fairness. Attraction is not designed to reward effort, intention, or good behavior. It doesn't operate on a moral scale. It responds to nervous systems, to stimulation, to what activates, calms, or destabilizes someone internally. And this is why doing everything right can still produce the wrong outcome. Men are taught to believe that stability is the goal. Be consistent, be reliable, be emotionally available. And those things do matter, but not in the way you think. To a nervous system, too much stability without emotional movement can register as dull. Not safe, but flat, predictable, emotionally quiet. And emotional quiet doesn't generate attraction, it generates rest. Rest feels good, but it doesn't pull. This is where the uncomfortable observations come in. Intensity feels alive, not chaos intensity. The sense that something is happening internally. That there's movement, tension, charge, safety. When it removes all emotional uncertainty, can reduce desire because it removes stimulation. That doesn't mean women want danger or instability. It means their nervous systems respond to contrast, to emotional highs and lows, to feeling something rather than nothing. This truth is avoided because it contradicts the story men are sold. The story says attraction is earned by effort and fairness, that if you do enough, give enough, explain enough, you'll be rewarded. But attraction doesn't work like a transaction. It's a response. And when men realize this, the responsibility shifts. You can no longer blame outcomes on not trying hard enough. You have to look at the emotional state you create and the one you live in. This is why two men can behave similarly and get completely different responses. One feels grounding but dull. The other feels unpredictable but alive. Same actions on paper, different nervous system reactions. And the woman doesn't consciously choose which one she responds to. Her body does. Attraction doesn't follow values. It follows sensation. When you understand that, you stop trying to negotiate desire with effort. You stop moralizing outcomes. And you start paying attention to something far more important: your own emotional regulation, your internal charge, and the state you bring into a room. That's where attraction actually begins. The third hidden truth is where many men start feeling betrayed, because they misread what's actually happening. When women test, men assume they're being judged morally, as if she's evaluating kindness, loyalty, or intentions. That assumption is wrong and dangerous. Women don't test men's hearts. They test their nervous systems, not consciously, not maliciously, but instinctively. Because bonding to an unstable man is costly, and the body knows that long before the mind does. These tests don't arrive as questions. They arrive as pressure, emotional pressure. She might pull back without explanation. She might contradict something she previously agreed with. She might push a boundary just enough to see what happens next. From the outside, it can look unfair, confusing, even disrespectful. But underneath, something else is happening. Her nervous system is probing for signals of stability, not perfection. Stability under stress. What's being measured isn't whether you care. It's how you regulate. Do you spike emotionally when she withdraws? Do you rush to fix tension? Do you lose your center when expectations aren't clear? Or do you remain grounded, present without chasing? Firm without force? Open without collapse? These moments reveal more than words ever could. Because under emotional pressure, performance drops and truth surfaces. You've seen this play out. She says something that doesn't quite make sense. She changes her tone. She delays a response. And suddenly, your internal state shifts. You overthink. You explain. You seek reassurance. Or you shut down entirely. In that moment, she's not judging your character. She's reading your nervous system. Is it stable? Is it reactive? Is it dependent on her responses to stay regulated? This is why men who try hardest often fail these tests. They confuse emotional effort with emotional strength. But strength, in this context, is the ability to remain yourself when uncertainty enters the room. To not abandon your rhythm. To not outsource your emotional balance. Women don't look for perfect men. They look for men who remain themselves under emotional pressure. Once you understand that, tests stop feeling like traps. They become signals revealing where you stand, and more importantly, where you stand within yourself. The fourth hidden truth collapses. One of the most comforting fantasies men cling to, that attraction, is created by leadership, direction, or control. The idea that if you just take charge, stay dominant, or manage the dynamic well enough, desire will follow. But women aren't drawn to control. Control signals predictability. Predictability gives leverage, and leverage kills desire faster than disinterest ever could. What actually creates pull is the absence of emotional leverage, not coldness, not dominance, not manipulation. Those are crude imitations that collapse under pressure. What women respond to is a man whose emotional center isn't reachable, a man who doesn't reorganize himself around her reactions. His mood doesn't spike when she leans in. It doesn't crash when she pulls away. His internal balance isn't something she can grab and move. This is why the idea of leading fails so often. Leadership implies direction and expectation. But desire thrives in freedom, not instruction. When a woman senses she can steer a man emotionally through approval, withdrawal, or mood shifts, her nervous system relaxes into certainty, and certainty ends pursuit. The chase doesn't die because she got what she wanted. It dies because there's nothing left to move. You've seen this dynamic in real life. The man who immediately adjusts when her tone changes, who explains himself when she goes quiet, who shifts plans, energy, even identity to maintain harmony. He thinks he's leading by accommodating, but what he's actually doing is handing over leverage. And the moment that happens, attraction flattens. Now, contrast that with a man whose life keeps moving regardless of her moods. He listens, but he doesn't bend. He's present, but not dependent. He doesn't punish distance, but he doesn't chase it either. His rhythm continues. His purpose stays intact. And because she can't move him emotionally, something else happens. She starts moving herself. The minute she can't move you emotionally, she starts moving herself. not because she's manipulated, but because her nervous system encounters resistance for the first time. Not resistance through force, but through stability. And stability that can't be controlled creates gravity. That gravity isn't loud. It doesn't demand. It simply pulls. And that's where desire actually grows. The fifth hidden truth explains the moment men describe as sudden, shocking, and unfair the moment they say, "She changed overnight." But nothing about it was sudden. What happened was quiet, internal, invisible to anyone watching from the outside. Women detach internally long before men ever notice, because the detachment doesn't begin with action. It begins with feeling. The first shift is emotional withdrawal, not arguments, not cold words, just less emotional investment. She stops bringing things to you, stops sharing inner reactions, stops leaning in the same way. From the outside, everything still looks functional. Conversations still happen. Routines stay intact. And because men track events, not internal movement, they assume nothing has changed. While that's happening, something else begins beneath the surface: mental reframing. She starts rewriting the meaning of the relationship inside her own head. The moments that once felt special get reinterpreted as not enough. The connection that once felt exciting gets reframed as limiting. This isn't malicious. It's self-protective. Her mind is preparing her nervous system for separation long before her body ever acts on it. Only after that internal process is complete does physical distance appear. Shorter responses, less initiation, a different tone. And this is the first moment most men notice anything is wrong. They react to the symptom, not the cause. They try to fix behavior that's already been emotionally abandoned. And when the relationship finally ends, it feels abrupt because the ending already happened without witnesses. Men miss this pattern because they look for events, arguments, ultimatums, clear signals. Women track feelings, subtle shifts in emotional alignment. And once those feelings cross a threshold, action is just a formality. By the time she leaves, the relationship already ended inside her quietly. The application here isn't paranoia, it's awareness. Don't wait for words. Watch energy. Don't assume presence equals connection. Pay attention to emotional investment, not physical proximity. Because when you learn to read detachment early, you stop being blindsided and you stop chasing something that already let go long before it said goodbye. Most men never see this pattern because they're trained to look in the wrong direction. Not by women, but by their own instincts. Men are wired to personalize. When something shifts, you assume it's about you, your effort, your mistake, your failure to maintain control. That reflex feels responsible, even mature, but it blinds you. Because the moment you personalize female behavior, you stop observing it objectively. Emotional confusion keeps men reactive. When you don't understand what's happening, you search for relief. You ask questions. You seek reassurance. You replay moments. And every reaction pulls you further away from your center. Instead of grounding yourself, you outsource your stability to her responses. Her warmth calms you. Her distance destabilizes you. And without realizing it, you hand over emotional leverage. Confusion becomes power, not because she wants it, but because you gave it weight. Reactive men don't seek understanding, they seek validation. They want confirmation that they're still chosen, still desired, still safe. And validation feels good in the short term, but it keeps you dependent on outcomes you can't control. The more you chase emotional certainty, the less grounded you become. And the less grounded you are, the harder it is to see patterns clearly. This is why understanding is dangerous in the best way. Understanding removes emotional dependency. The moment you recognize that behavior follows internal states, that attraction responds to nervous systems, that detachment begins quietly, confusion loses its grip. You stop interpreting every shift as a verdict on your worth. You stop reacting to noise. You start observing movement. And observation creates distance, not emotional distance, but psychological clarity. You notice trends instead of moments, energy instead of words, alignment instead of promises. You don't rush to fix what isn't broken, and you don't chase what's already pulling away. That alone rewires how you move through connection. The more you understand the pattern, the less power confusion has over you. Not because women become predictable, but because you do. Your reactions slow, your center holds, and once that happens, you're no longer trapped inside the emotional fog that blinds most men. You're standing outside it, watching it move, without needing to be pulled in. At the end of all of this, the most important thing to understand is what this knowledge is not for. It isn't here to give you control over women. Control is fragile. It creates anxiety, not strength. The men who seek it are always watching, always calculating, always afraid of losing ground. This truth is not about steering someone else's emotions. It's about orienting yourself so you stop drifting every time emotions shift around you. Most men spend their lives asking the wrong question. Why did she do that? Why did she pull away? Why did she change? Why didn't it last? That question keeps you outward-facing, reactive, dependent on explanations that never fully arrive. And as long as you stay there, you remain psychologically off balance because your center lives in someone else's behavior. The real shift happens when the question changes. Not why did she do that, but who am I being when emotions shift? Do you lose your footing? Do you rush to explain, fix, or stabilize? Do you abandon your rhythm the moment uncertainty enters the room? Or do you remain grounded, observant, and intact? That question brings your attention back to the only thing you can actually regulate your internal state. This knowledge doesn't harden you. It doesn't turn you cold. It does the opposite. It quiets you. When you stop personalizing every emotional fluctuation, your nervous system stops firing constantly. You no longer need constant reassurance to feel steady. You don't chase clarity to feel safe. You don't attach your self-worth to someone else's moods. And in that quiet, something solid forms. You begin to move through connection differently. You listen without overcorrecting. You engage without disappearing into expectation. You notice alignment without forcing it. And whether a woman moves closer or further away, you don't lose yourself in the process. That's the real outcome. Not attraction tricks, not emotional leverage, self-possession. This truth won't make you hate women. It will make you stop losing yourself. And once that happens, you'll never move through connection the same way again. Pinned comment: once I stopped personalizing female behavior, my life got quieter and stronger.